Well, hello everyone. This is Carrie back with Family eBiz, where we help moms and families start online businesses. Hey, I'm so glad to be here. I have had a little break for a couple weeks. I wasn't here on Mondays. There's a lot of reasons. One, I had a lot going on. I was out of town. I was even doing these out of town. Then when I got home, I'm in the middle of a homeschool launch for my leadership course that goes on sale next week. And so I just ended up having to focus on that for a little while. But I am back. I am so excited to talk to you today. If you are here, whether you're listening to the live or the replay, I have a question for you about your business. I would love for you to write your answer down in the comments section. And the question is this: where is your focus in your business? We're going to talk about sales, but it's really important that you know where your focus is. So tell me, what is your focus as far as what you want to accomplish, what you want to do in your business? I would love to know that as well. Okay, I can see that usually our focus divides into two areas, and I'm going to talk about each of those. Then I'm going to tell my story about how I sort of chose one focus over the other. A lot of you want to make sales, and you're not really a business if you're not making sales. So I get that. But if your focus is all on money and making sales and that's it, you will be frustrated and it'll never be enough. You are always reaching and grasping for something. It seems to be elusive. Money tends to be elusive. When you are focusing on it, that's what happens. And besides, your audience just gets tired of all the promotions. I don't know if you're on certain lists, but some lists, it seems like every day they're trying to sell you something. Now, I will just back up and say I send a lot of emails, usually a minimum of 3 a week. Not This is in my homeschool niche. Sometimes 4, 5, or 6, and in the next 2 weeks they'll probably be getting 7 from me. Not really, because usually what I do is I send an email and then I resend it the next day if people don't open it. So there's sort of a break in there. But let me just tell you, my emails are not all asking for money. Like right now, I have a $10 promotion, and starting next week, we will sell our $200 leadership course. But then it'll be a break for several weeks, and I'll continue to email them, giving them good content. So when all you're doing is all about the money, I believe you will get frustrated. So that could be one focus. The other focus could be on others. And why am I talking about focus when we're supposed to be talking about making sales? Let me just tell you, your focus will determine what your sales are. A lot of it is up in your mind, and if your perspective is in the wrong place, you're not going to make the sales that you want. So you need to take a step back. So what do I mean by focusing on others? I believe it's really important that you build relationships with people. That's true whether it's a retail bricks and mortar store, or online. I have built relationships with some of you, with many of my homeschool moms, and I think it's important that that is focusing on others. When you build relationships, then those people get to know you, like you, and trust you. And when they know, like, and trust you, they are more likely to part with that money and buy something, because one, you're speaking their language. If they keep coming back to you, they like you. They want whatever it is that you have to offer. I also think that it is important that we give, give, give. We need to be giving all the time. We need to be serving others. There is a time to make sales, but if you are starting off with sales, you are starting in the wrong place. That focus is in the wrong place. I believe that you serve before you sell. Serve by getting to know them. Serve by offering them free content. You're not going to give them everything, but you serve your people, and they will begin to know you, like you, and trust you, and follow you, and want whatever it is that you have to offer. And when you do that, and when they are ready to buy, then they're going to come to you for an offer. Or when you have an offer, they're going to take you up on it. All right? I just think this is so, so vital. Serve before you sell. So you can focus on money and be frustrated, it'll be elusive, or you can focus on others and build relationships and then make long-time sales. So you're not just making a one-time sell, you're making, they're going to keep coming. I have people that keep buying things over and over and over again. So let me tell you a little bit about my story. I decided a few years ago I was going to focus on how I could serve my readers or my viewers, whoever, depending on how they were consuming my information. Um, I decided I would think about what will help my readers the most. And I was going to give them as much of it as possible free. That's one reason I have these Monday live classes. And then in the homeschool group, they even go on a podcast as well. What happened is because I was serving them and we were building relationships, then the sales actually flowed pretty naturally after that. Now, does that mean we don't have dips? Yes, we have dips in sales, okay? I am not going to say that I am making, bukus of money every single month of the year. I have times that my sales are not good. But when I have things going on, when I have these events that I put on, people are ready for them. People are excited for them. And because I'm there. Am I willing to help individually? Yes, a lot of times. Now, I will tell you there are times I do have to back off and charge for my coaching. I don't mind giving an answer here or there, but if someone needs to sit and talk to me for an hour or two, then I need to charge them for that coaching because that's one-on-one coaching. If I need to review a lot of documents to be able to answer a question, then I would charge. But I am in and out of Facebook groups as much as possible to try to serve because that's where my homeschool moms have been. I have not been in this group as much. I probably need to, but I am in my email. And so when I send something out and people reply to it, then I can reply to them. And that is one way that I sort of keep up with my business students as well. I do believe that when you help them individually, it builds relationships. Last week, I just had a Facebook party, and these moms were like, wow, that was so much fun. But we were talking about what's the best advice you can give to homeschool more than one kid. What about when you have preschool and toddlers and you're trying to help your 10-year-old? Those were the topics that we were talking about, so they were getting good content. It wasn't all from me, but I was popping in and out. Plus, I had free things for them as well. Like one of my things is to read to your kids aloud. You can read to all of them at one time. And so I have a read aloud ebook that's free, and I gave that away. So sometimes it's popping in the comments, sometimes it's hosting a party, sometimes it's going live. Sometimes it's blog posts. There's all different ways that you can serve, and you need to figure out what is the best way for you to serve your audience. There are a few questions I would encourage you to do. Find out how do they consume the best information. For instance, I offered a free a private podcast for my events the last 2 times, and that was always lowest on my score. So I am really reevaluating if I'm going to continue to do that because it costs me money to be able to offer that private podcast for them to be able to listen to all the sessions. Do they listen to videos like this? Yes. Do they read my blog posts? Yes. Do they read email? Yes. Where is the number one place they are? Every time I ask, they say Facebook. Okay, so that's given me some ideas. Now, everyone thinks, oh, I have to blog. That means I've got 1,000-word blog post to be able to give my content. Nope. I don't blog that often. And I will just tell you right now that I think it's important. These videos are a lot easier for me to produce and get good content out to my audience. So I will do that and then email replays for my group as well. Now, I still have a blog. I still have blog posts, but it's not to the extent that I was doing it years ago. That's easier for me. Other people, may be easier for them to write as well. Now, one thing this does assume with everything that I've shared today is that you have a list. So if you want to make sales and you have 0 people on your list, you need to go build your list first. All right. It does assume that you already have a list. And so I would say when you have a list, you need to start with that list and build up the relationships there. Not your product. You need to build relationships, and you can be working on your product so then when the product is ready to sell, you will have rabid customers, rabid fans waiting to buy whatever it is. So that may not have been exactly what you want. I'll get into some other stuff next week that I think you'll like, but I do think it starts up here. It's where is your focus? If your focus is on money, you're going to get frustrated. If your focus is on serving others, I believe the sales flow naturally. Now, I do have a couple things in closing. Number one, I have Family eBiz Blueprint. It's completely free. It's at familyebiz.com. Go get it if you have not gotten a copy of it yet. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be talking about your message. Is the message that you're writing about your product or whatever you're selling, does it match their problem? Is it matching where they're thinking about and what their solution needs to be? So we'll talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about funnels and starting with low price items and moving to higher price items. And then we're going to talk about sales page copy over the next few weeks. And what I mean by that is, what are the words or even a video that you are putting on your website to sell this thing? All right, and I'll just give you a little hint. If you're just putting the title, telling me how many pages and the chapter and the subtitle and the price, you're not making many sales. You've got to change what you write there. And so I'll be talking a little bit about that as well. Hey, thanks so much for spending time with me. If y'all have any other topics that you want me to cover, let me know. I'm choosing these topics based on what you say when you enter here. What are your biggest challenges? That is how I've done that. So remember, if you are listening to the replay or the live, please leave a comment. Let me know that you're here. I would love to hear from you. And I will talk to you next time. Carrie Beck, Family eBiz.